Hi everyone, Coach Eli here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very crucial topic to present to you folks. I wanted to put this out over the weekend if you're watching this when it's first released, because many of you that have weekends off are sitting around at home and you're trying to figure out what to do, or you have some friends or family or a special loved one and you're not communicating well, or you're struggling to bond with them in the proper ways, and you're wondering why people are being distant from you when you just want to hang out and have a good time, right? And today I'm going to be sharing something that can completely change your life if you just change your mindset and you have a bit of emotional self-control. It all leads back to emotional self-control. So the topic of today's video is, you can decide to be the better person. You can choose to be the better person in every situation you encounter. One more time, you can choose or decide to be the better person in every situation you encounter. I want to share a story with you folks that completely changed my life regarding how I look at every situation in life, regarding how I handle people, and when approached by people, if I'm not happy with how they're behaving or what they're saying to me or what they're doing to me, how I handle it. This was back in my retail management days. And I remember I was an assistant store manager before I got promoted to store manager, and I was working for one of the best store managers that I've worked for, or actually worked with. I like to say work with instead of work for, because I believe in the team effort, and I also believe in the team acronym, which stands for Together, Everybody or Everyone Accomplishes More. One more time: Together, everybody accomplishes more, or together, everyone accomplishes more. And, there was some BS and politics happening that were delaying my promotion. And I used to complain about it to my store manager. I used to talk smack about the district manager and the upper managers to my store manager. And every time I would, talk about these things with my store manager, she would tell me, "You know what, Eli? It is what it is." And at first, I really didn't understand what that meant. And I'll tell you, this was actually in my early 30s, probably almost 18 years ago or so. And at 30 years old, you're supposed to be a grown-ass man and be able to handle things respectfully, professionally, and maturely. And I thought I was handling things respectfully, professionally, and maturely, but in actuality, I really wasn't. And it wasn't until years down the road when I finally left retail corporate and retail management that I did for almost 18 years, that I looked back when I was having similar situations in other aspects of life. I looked back and I remembered what this store manager told me. It is what it is. Okay? Some things are just not meant to be in the way that you'd like them to be. And you have to learn to accept that and understand that. Okay? Again, some things are just not meant to be in the way you'd like them to be, right? Sometimes, you're going to get passed up for a promotion even though you're more qualified than the person that got it, because of politics, because the district manager wanted to hire a friend that was less qualified and give him the job as a favor, hooking him up per se. People hook people up all the time, right? And you just have to learn how to deal with it and say it is what it is. And what you should do is just suck it up, keep your mouth shut, and eventually your time will either come for that promotion or to get what you're seeking, or you just stop working for that company or do something else. I looked back and I just kept on saying to myself, it is what it is. It is what it is. As I got into my mid 30s or so, after I had left retail management, retail corporate, etc., as I became self-employed, whenever I would encounter something that would make me want to react, that would make me want to talk smack to the person that was coming at me, or give someone a piece of my mind, I would always remember that phrase, it is what it is. I would say, Eli, it is what it is. And if I react to this, or overreact to this, or give these people a piece of my mind, is it going to benefit me or actually set me further back, right? And initially, I reacted and overreacted, and what happened? It set me further back. So what allowed me to start moving forward and accomplishing things in a positive way is to just suck it up, keep my mouth shut, and always be professional, respectful, and mature with each and every person I encounter. No matter what happens, no matter what they say to me, no matter what they do to me, no matter what they say about my friends or my family or whatever, right? People are going to try to knock you down, okay? But you just cannot allow that to happen, because if you do allow it to happen, you're gonna focus so much negative emotional energy to the point of where you're not going to have any energy left to actually move yourself forward and accomplish what you have been trying to accomplish, right? So, when you're dealing with these situations, let me give you a few examples here. So one example, the woman that I've been seeing, this is a very good example. I don't think she'd have a problem with me talking about this. She works in retail and retail management. She's a phenomenal retail manager. And, we have, COVID restrictions, here all over the Bay Area, pretty much in every single county, right? People have to wear a mask when they come, into a store or a restaurant, regardless of vaccination status. It used to be when we first got vaccinated, people that were vaccinated didn't need to wear a mask, but now, masks are being required regardless of vaccination status, right? And she was told by her company to basically really enforce it and not allow anyone in the store without a mask. And if they walk in the store without a mask, you can give them one of the masks, that the store is providing. And if they refuse it, then you have to ask them to leave, right? Well, she had encountered, several people over the last month that really argued and fought, the mask mandate, right? And basically, she tried to get them to wear a mask, and she asked them to leave, and these people got super triggered. They got really, really super triggered. And what ended up happening with her is she ended up getting a little bit triggered too, but not really in a bad way. But here's the thing: whenever you react to a customer that is already in an emotional state, and they're probably feeling terrible about something that's going on in their personal life, they're already supercharged about something else outside of being in that current situation with you. You don't know what's going on with these people, and the last thing you want to do is further trigger a customer that's already triggered about something else outside of the current situation of them being in your store without a mask. And what ended up happening was, a few of these people ended up calling the corporate office. Now, nothing happened to her regarding that because she was just trying to lay down the law of what her company wants and what the county wants, right? Okay. But I told her this. This is what I told her. I said, you know what, babe? If these people come into your store and they refuse to wear a mask, you ask them to wear a mask. If they refuse to wear it, I would just say, look, it's company policy I really can't have you in the store if you're not wearing a mask. It's company policy and it's a county mandate. But look, if you grab a couple items quickly and I'll check you out, I'll let you, slide this time. I could get in trouble for that. But let me get you out of the store as quickly as possible and take care of you today. But in the future, you're going to need to wear a mask when you come into the store. What that's going to convey to the person is that you're taking their thoughts and feelings into consideration, even though they're being ridiculous, right? And, in the future, when they come, if they do come back to your store, they're going to remember that there's a mask mandate and that you asked them to wear a mask. And they're going to be more prone to comply at that point there. Yes, in that case, was the customer wrong? Yes. But you know what the golden rule is, of business. The customer is always right. And that's rule number one. And rule number two, when the customer is wrong, what do? You refer back to rule number one. The customer is always right. And it's a hard pill to swallow because you just want to be respected and appreciated, and you're just doing your very best to help that person as best as possible and keep that person and everyone else safe from, the COVID-19, the virus, the pandemic, right? So that's one aspect there. Another aspect, when you're dealing with family, okay? A lot of times, especially during this time of the year, this is being recorded during the holiday season, but it can apply at any time you get together with your family, right? A lot of times when families get together, they, start to bicker and argue, and they start to flex their muscles on each other. If you get a bunch of ladies together, ladies are emotional beings that respond to everything emotionally first based on how they're feeling in the present moment, right? Okay. You're going to have a lot of high emotion running at these company functions. These family functions. Not company functions, family functions, right? And this is the best way to handle it. Think of the phrase that my former store manager told me. It is what it is. Try to put yourself into that person's shoes that's coming at you and triggering you and trying to get you to react and get you upset, right? Okay? Don't let them do that to you. Do not let them do that to you, okay? All you do in that situation is sit there and smile. For example, if you're at a family function, like if I'm at a family function and my mother is just going off emotionally at my brother, myself, or any other family member, right? We don't get triggered at her. We say, "Come on, Mom. We're just having a good time with the family here. I know you're feeling a little upset, but hey, you know what? Let's just have a good time with the family here." You can diffuse it in that way. Now, in some cases, it might trigger her more in that situation. And if that happens, just let her have her say, and just kind of ignore it, and just do your best to make it through that dinner. Being as understanding as possible regarding the situation. The bottom line is when people, are coming at you and they're doing something that or feel is wrong, and you feel like giving them a piece of your mind to correct it, or you feel slighted, or you feel someone's trying to say they're better at you than something, don't feed into it. Just kind of sit there and smile, and deep within understand what's really happening. And I'll share with you folks, like I've shared before, what's really happening with these people when they're coming at you. They're projecting their insecurities onto you. They're projecting their unhappiness onto you because they see you as happy. They wish they could be as happy as you. And at that point, they're in such a heightened state of emotion, they feel the only way they can be as happy as you is if they kick you down to their level of misery, right? Okay? So don't give them that. Just sit there and smile, and don't feed into it. And this is what's going to happen. It's probably going to trigger them a little bit more, initially when you first start ignoring it. But after a while, of them continuing to come at you, be overly emotional, attack you, or say nasty things to you, if they're not getting that reaction, they're going to get tired of trying to get a reaction from you, and nothing they say or do or try is working. So they're going to stop. That way you diffuse the situation. Now, I know it's much more difficult for women to apply this because all women are emotional beings. But I'll tell you this, I've told my lady this because, she's had some family functions with her family lately, and her mother and her daughter and her, they kind of have this weird bizarre love triangle. Let's call it that. They're all good people and their family, and they all love each other. But it's one of those things where, all three of those ladies, are just, trying to have a good time, trying to be recognized by the rest of the family. They're trying to all feel important, which is what I'm trying to say. And I told my lady this, okay? If you're at your mother's place for a family function and, she's trying to be the boss and trying to be the leader and trying to just run everything, just let her run everything, right? And even though when she's behaving that way, it makes you feel like you want to give her a piece of your mind. But what happens if you give her a piece of your mind? Okay, she's going to continue to behave that way, and she's going to behave even worse. And it's just going to be an uncomfortable situation. It's not going to be a fun time with the family. It's just going to make the matter worse, or the matters worse. I told my lady, you need to put yourself in your mother's shoes. And here's the thing, babe, you're both women. You both are emotional beings that respond to everything emotionally first based on how you're feeling in the present moment. So when your mother goes off like that in a situation like that every now and then at a family function or whenever you see her, just let her be, right? Because at one point or another, you yourself have reacted that way, right? So now that you've learned to identify, hey, when you behave that way, you don't like how you behave, right? Now you're identifying, you don't like your mother behaving that way. But if you react to her, in essence, you're behaving no better than her, right? So I was telling her, look, just let it go. It is what it is, right? Let her be. She's a woman just like you. She happens to be your mother, but she's still a woman and she has emotions, okay? Folks, this is all about a mindset shift, okay? And you don't have to allow anything at all to ever bother you unless you want to. You're in full control. You don't have to react to anything that you don't want to react to, right? And like I've been saying all along throughout this video, okay? The less you react to things, the less fuel you're pouring onto the fire towards the person that's coming at you in a ridiculous way. As long as you know deep within the person or people coming at you are acting ridiculous, okay, that's all that matters. Diffuse the situation, smile, laugh, say, all right, yeah, okay, it's all cool, right on, right? But don't come and get in their face because you're just going to basically, you're going to basically pour more fuel on the fire and things are going to get worse. I really want each and every one of you to really dig deep within and, grab a hold of your heart, your soul, and allow yourself to, first of all, breathe deeply, breathe in and out, right? And think about how you would want to be treated and treat that person the way you'd want to be treated no matter how they come at you. Now, again, you don't have to spend your time hanging around nasty, irritable, people that are attacking you, right? Okay? But in some cases, you can't help it. When it comes to family, you're not going to walk out of your family dinner. And if you did, that would create, that would make the matter worse, right? Just sit there and say it is what it is. All right? You don't have to react to anything that you don't want to react to. Rise above everything. Be the better person, okay? You can easily become the better person if you choose to be the better person. Most of everything you encounter in life is going to be completely within your control. Okay, now some people will say, well, some things are out of my control. No, pretty much almost everything in life is within your control. Now, granted, if you're working for someone else and they can't afford to pay you anymore, their sales have gone down and they lay you off, that's not within your control. That's out of your control, which is what I'm trying to say. Okay, that's just one example of where things are, out of your control. But if that does happen to you, don't get angry, don't get upset, don't let it bring you down, and don't worry, because if you worry, it's going to hold you back, which is what I'm trying to say, from finding the solution. You go out with a positive attitude. You apply for other jobs immediately. Maybe you file unemployment in the meantime, to supplement, whatever savings you may have in that situation. And then you just move forward in a positive way. You don't let anyone or anything get to you, okay? It is a choice. It is a choice what you allow to get to you and what you don't allow to get to you, okay? It's all up to you how much self-control or emotional self-control you have. Now, let me tell you this before I wrap up this video here, okay? When I was in my younger days, I had a severe lack of emotional self-control, okay? I would react and overreact to anything and everything, and a lot of my friends, didn't really want to be around me when I was like that. And when they would try to distance themselves from me, I would push harder and react more and beg them and force them to hang out with me, right? And as I got older, I realized, wow, how could I have ever behaved that way? Like, if I'm dealing with people like that nowadays, I would immediately remove them. So I can only imagine how my friends and family and other people I was hanging out with back then and behaving that way felt, right? Put yourself in other people's shoes and ask yourself, if I said something to this person and they said the same thing back to me and that same thing triggered me, it's probably going to trigger them, right? So why am I going to treat someone in a way that I don't want to be treated? Folks, this is simple. This is basic stuff, right? And I think every single person out there, whether you're a man or a woman, understands this, okay? The problem is this. Many people lack emotional self-control. And again, like I've been saying all along, it's going to be a little harder for women to contain their emotional self-control to a certain extent because women are naturally and biologically emotional all day, every day, and they respond to everything emotionally first based on how they're feeling in the present moment. For men, here's the thing, guys, there's absolutely no excuse for you guys to ever lose your emotional shit, your emotional self-control. Now, granted, there are going to be times where, somebody passes away or something legitimately emotional happens, and you might shed a tear or two, right? And get a little emotional. That, in that case, that is perfectly normal. But if you're someone that, is overreacting, if you're a man that's overreacting emotionally to every little thing in life, in essence, all you're doing is projecting onto those people because you wish you could be like them or you perceive them to be better than you, and you just can't stand the fact that you're not as good as them. That's what it all boils down to, right? That's what it all boils down to. And until I figured that out, it probably took me until my mid-30s or so to really start to get a grip on that. Maybe in my early 30s after that talk with my manager where she said it is what it is, I really started to kind of get it then, but I didn't really start to really hone in on this till my mid-30s. And now in my early 40s, and now in my late 40s, but starting in my early 40s, about 7, 8 years ago, I really started to get a good grip and understanding on what this means. Now, before I wrap this up, are you going to have moments where you're going to lash out and you're going to say something you didn't mean or overreact to someone that's coming at you, right? Or project onto someone? Everyone is human and everyone is going to have moments of where they make a mistake like this. That's an honest mistake. But if you find yourself continuously, feeding into people or overreacting to people, all you're basically doing is projecting your unhappiness onto them. If you're completely happy and secure within yourself, whether you're a man or a woman, nothing will ever bother you, which is what I'm trying to say, no matter how hard other people come at you or no matter what they say or do to you. I've gotten to the point in my life right now where I'm a rock. I'm like bulletproof. Nothing can kick me down. Nothing will hurt me or faze me. And I'll say one more thing. I know I keep saying that, but things keep popping in my mind here. What really got me to become even more emotionally stronger is being out here on YouTube for the last 5 years. When I first came out here, I had no idea how bad the trolls and haters were, and they're horrendous. And a lot of these people, they not only attacked me online, they took it into real life. They came at my family. They came at my friends. They put me through a ringer unlike anything that I've been through before. But I will say this. I'm actually grateful and thankful that they did this to me, right? I'll tell you why. It made me stronger. It made me as strong as I can possibly be. Because after what I went through, if I can recover from that and still have the strength to move forward and keep my message moving forward, nothing else is going to stop me. And I want to help you folks get to that same level as well. So again, just say it is what it is. Let things go. Don't let anyone bother you, whether they're a family member, a friend, whether it's a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Don't let anyone get to you. And hey, you know what? If you are hanging around with someone and they continue to come at you, and you've given them a few chances and they still don't change and they start to weigh you down, you can distance yourself and remove yourself from their life. And when you do that, you're probably going to trigger them, especially, out here on YouTube, when you have to part ways with people because, you're trying to remove drama and hate from your life, right? You have to remove someone, from your moderator group of people and stuff like that. You just want to part ways because you don't want to deal with any drama or hate, right? Sometimes these people, when you remove them, because they're not in the best place mentally and emotionally, they may start talking smack about you. They may start creating videos and just doing stupid things and trying to trigger you. Just ignore it. Say it is what it is, right? There's a reason why you removed that person from your group. It was because of the way that they're reacting right now by doing these stupid videos and stuff like that, for example purposes. So, folks, try to be good to each other. Try to understand people. Try to put yourself in other people's shoes. And I'll always think about, how you would feel if someone said to you what you're about to say to them before you actually say it to them. All right? That's going to wrap up this video. I hope you all learned something new. Another video is coming to this channel soon. Please like, share, subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.